So I've got three jobs here. One is an IT job from Canada, the other one is an engineering job from India, and the third one is an administrative job from the US. Now, although these three jobs are from three different countries and three different industries, they have one thing in common. They all require the soft skill of action orientation. Now hold on, how on earth can you find out if you are action oriented or not? Well, watch this video till the end because I will be using our newly developed Skillometer, which we will use to find out whether you are action oriented or not. And towards the end, I will also share with you a real life example of action orientation, which you can use as a reference to improve your performance on your current job or also to prepare for an upcoming interview. My name is Jamil Hai, and I've been working in the corporate sector for the last 18 years. And my passion is to help you build real life skills for your job and career that they don't teach you in college. So let's find out whether you are action oriented or not. So let's find out using our Skillometer whether you are action oriented or not. I'm going to read out a few statements here, and after each statement you can assess whether this statement describes you or not. And after each of the statements, our Skillometer will tell us whether that means being underskilled, skilled, or overskilled on action orientation. So let's start. So do you think you are overly methodical or a perfectionist? Skillometer says this is a sign of being underskilled on action orientation. Let's go to the next one. Do you enjoy working hard? Now everybody wants to claim that they work hard, but do you really enjoy working hard? If that's the case, the Skillometer says you are indeed action oriented. Let's do the next one. Are you a workaholic? If that's the case, the Skillometer says that you are overskilled on action orientation. Workaholic, not a good sign. So let's try the next one. You are not someone who is fearful of action with minimum planning. Skillometer says that's a very good sign for being action oriented. You don't have to always do analysis paralysis and wait for a lot of analysis, like being a perfectionist is an example for that. Sometimes you have to act with minimum planning, and that's a very good sign for action orientation. So let's try the next one. Do you like to procrastinate or delay things unnecessarily? Well, that's a sign that you are underskilled on action orientation. One very useful tip is that whenever you are given a task, try to complete the first 10 or 15% of it right away, so that this will help you to get out of this habit of procrastination. Let's go to the next one. Do you push solutions too quickly without adequate analysis? Skillometer says that's a sign of being overskilled on action orientation. You need to manage that very fine balance. You cannot be a perfectionist, which is waiting for the last level of detail, but at the same time, you should not be jumping too quickly to solutions as well, because that's a sign of being overskilled in this area. Let's try the next one. Are you someone who knows what to do but hesitates to do it? The Skillometer says that that's a sign of being underskilled on action orientation. Let's try the next one. Are you someone who seizes more opportunities than others? Well, if that's the case, that's a very good sign, and that means you are action oriented. Let's try the last statement now. Are you someone who over manages things to get them done really quickly? Well, that's a sign of being overskilled on action orientation. So I hope these statements help you find out your strengths and opportunities in order to further improve your action orientation. So now let's try a real life example. This example can be used as a reference on your current job and can also help you prepare for your next job interview. So I'll be using the famous STAR model to walk you through this example. And if you don't know what the STAR model is, you can watch my detailed review on this topic. I'll put the link somewhere here. But just to give you an overview, the STAR model basically stands for situation, task, action, and results. So here is a question that typically gets asked in job interviews with regards to action orientation. In what ways did you take initiative on your last job? Now the example I'm using here is from a customer service manager. So he's saying that in his previous job, he was the customer service manager, and their order processing time was manual and error prone. It used to take about 30 minutes for them to process an order. So that's the situation he's explaining. The task or the initiative he took was to find a way to automate the order processing system to drive efficiencies. The specific set of actions he took to deliver that initiative was to first map the entire order management process and share it with his IT director. He then organized a brainstorming session with the customer service and IT team to come up with ideas to improve the system. And then the IT team recommended a software which could potentially minimize the manual steps of the process. They then identified an offshore solution provider to keep the costs low. And then finally, it took this customer service manager, his IT manager, and the offshore company about 6 months to implement the solution. Overall, the results were pretty good because they were able to bring the order processing time from 30 minutes to 10 minutes, and the cost of the project was only $35,000. The time savings eliminated the need of hiring a new order processing resource, which saved them $70,000, which means that the ROI of the project was about 200%, which is pretty good. So it's a very specific example which explains how someone was able to use their action orientation skill to drive a business improvement. I hope you enjoyed this video. Keep watching, subscribe, and apply these skills to your job and career. Good luck.